Practice 7 is in the books, and we're going to talk about some position battles that are taking place right now for Alabama as they build towards that opening kickoff, 6 o'clock, Bryant-Denny Stadium, August 31st against Western Kentucky, the Hill Toppers, right? Two of the positions that I'm most interested in, offensive tackle, I think that's going to be the biggest strength for Alabama, and then corner, which could be early on the biggest weakness for the Crimson Tide. We're going to talk about that. Big Sexy Elmo's here as well. We got all that coming up right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, hang out with us, everybody. Roll Tide. Let's get this party started. There he is, big sexy Elmo. What's up, dude?
What's going on? Congratulations on the big news. Mick has added an 11th job to his plate.
I didn't know you were going to bring it up right out of the chute, but yeah, cover crimson, baby. I mean, you got you. I'm like, remember that old skit they used to have on in Living Color? They had the Jenkins and they had all these jobs.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jobs. But no, I'm excited about this. I love the guys at the next round. I've been doing the show with Jake Coker on Roll Tide Pods, and that's turning into Crimson to cover Crimson. But Clint Lamb's going to head this thing up, Reed Taylor, and those guys. And so I'm really excited about this. Got my main man, Mike Johnson, on board, Big Mike. So we got our own Big Mike now. And it's exciting, man. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yep, and it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to watching the coverage.
Yeah, and also check out the message board. That's kind of what you and I were talking about this last night. It's going to be a lot of discussion on there, some inside scoops. Got a lot of people with scoops on this crew. These scoopies. All right. But it's exciting, and I got to shout out a couple people. First off, Kyle Henderson, he kind of got me started on this stuff. Andrew Bone always has been someone that's had my back and kind of helped me throughout the years. So, I appreciate those guys. Kyle does his thing, and then, Bone on 3. And so, indirectly, and then Lance Taylor, who kind of has been a good friend of mine and got me, to know all these guys and work with them. So I'm excited. We're going to keep doing the show with Jake Coker, Elephant in the Room, and then we'll have some stuff that will be for members only on the on the Cover Crimson message board and in there and that site. And then we'll keep doing stuff on the YouTube channel that's free. So that's where we are right now. So let's talk about football practice, Brett. Let's talk about this. Practice 7 finished yesterday. It's in the books. Alabama starting to get one step closer to that first kickoff. And there's two positions that I feel like are worth talking about. And I'm going to go with our strength first. I really believe it's going to be on the offensive line.
Yeah, the offensive line looks to be stout. They've been, we say we're, a quarter of a way through the fall drills now. It's starting to get the battle at each position. We're going to start seeing, some people come a little above, get their head above the water. But on the offensive tackle and offensive line, what I've liked is everyone is switching out and playing different roles. So that's a big thing, I think.
Yeah, and that's what Coach Cap has said. And things got a lot clearer when Caden Proctor, who had transferred to Iowa, came back to Alabama. That turned out to be huge because then all of a sudden you were going to have to basically figure out who was playing both left and right tackles, right? But then Proctor came back. He was on the second team at the beginning. Now they have him practicing with the first team. Wilkin Formby and Elijah Pritchard are battling for playing time there. So they may be, spelling Proctor. They may be on the right side of the line. And one thing that you're seeing with Coach DeBoer and his staff, Coach Cap as well, is that they want the offensive linemen to be interchangeable. Like last year when they were at Washington, you might not know this, but Parker Brailsford wasn't the center at the beginning of the season. And he ended up going there, and he's one of the best centers in the country. So it's one of those deals where you really want the versatility. Obviously Alabama's, going to be in great shape when you talk about Tyler Booker being, one of the best in the country, and then Brailsford, and you start looking at that line and it's really good. But we're wondering where these position battles are going to be. How is that going to play out? And what are we looking at there? I think for Alabama, it's all about trying to just get some, not just starters, but a lot of depth and guys like Naquel who could slide in there and, and help out if you need them, because people get hurt on the line a lot. You got to have, and this is something that Coach Cat talks a lot about, is trust. When you put somebody on that line, that they're going to get the job done. So I feel like this is the most important position on the team. And I feel like this is the strength of Alabama's team.
I like how you made up the word versatility. That was impressive. I gained all that knowledge, but what I was really impressed with was the versatility.
Well, you got to have versatility. The versatility.
But I know what you're talking about, because you're right, man. You see it all the time. These big guys, they get rolled up, or whatever. That's a tough job there on the line, the big brutes. And no, I like the fact that you want these guys to be interchangeable. That builds not only competition, but it builds depth. And I like the versatility in all of it.
All right. Well, here's another position battle. Corner. We're going to have to find some versatility there as well.
Right.
Brett, no. All right. So you got Damani Jackson. I feel like he's the one guy on this, in this position where you feel comfortable. He was a 5-star, came down to Alabama and USC. The deal, went to USC. And then it came down to Alabama and Michigan, and he decided to come to Alabama. And this was a big get for Nick Saban. He decided to stick even when Nick Saban left. He's probably the most experienced and talented guy that Alabama has in a position group that actually was not just devastated by the draft, but also by the transfer portal. Now, the other question is who's going to be opposite of him. And there's a really good chance, I think, that it could be a true freshman. And we talked about Xavier Brown in a video, I think last week, and he'd been, really excelling, but now he's kind of slowed down by a hand injury. A guy that you and I both absolutely love, Clay Chalkful's Jalen Mbakwe, right? So much talent, another 5-star guy. He's a football playing machine, can do so many different things. And then Zay Mincy, who's another guy that you look at and you're like, man, here's another guy. Isn't this Bam Bam? He's just going to throw him out there and he can do his stuff. The guy that's kind of surprised me, though, Brett, as far as like when you think about this position and what's going to happen, is Deshaun Jones, who transferred in from Wake Forest. I would have figured that with the experience, he would be the guy like coming out of the chute, and maybe that will happen. We're only in practice 7, but I'm hearing a lot about these true freshmen.
Yeah, and I think the kid from Wake Forest, he gets lost to the mix a little bit because we talk so much about these true freshmen, but they are so talented. But I'm telling you, Mick, I really believe day one, game one, we're going to see a true freshman starting in that secondary, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's Mbakwe. But I wouldn't be surprised at any of them, because they are a truly talented group. Now, how well will they respond to the college game? It's such a big step up from high school to college, but especially in the SEC. But we'll see who develops and who matures, I guess you would say.
Yeah, and the other part of this job too is, as these young guys get out there, they're going to get burnt. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. If you got to play true freshmen to start the season, that's not going to be a good thing. The way that you neutralize that is pressure on the quarterback.
Right.
Guys off the edge, getting back there. Maybe you just beat you're able to get your linebackers in the backfield. You're able to get pressure on the quarterback, and then give them a few games where, they're able to kind of adjust. But it's about impossible for a true freshman, no matter how much talent they have, to go from college to high school and be dominant.
Right. Yeah. No, you're not going to see that. But you made an excellent point right there, and it's something we've seen being worked on early and talked about is pressure on the quarterback. Yeah. That's something that the coaches know that's going to happen. But because you're right, a true freshman back there, okay, as talented as they are, look at the early season schedule. When you're going to a place like Wisconsin and you got Georgia this early, yeah, it's worrisome. But I'm telling you, hopefully these guys could gel together quick.
Well, and that game, don't think that Wisconsin's going to be the same Wisconsin from last year. Luke Fickell was really a fantastic coach. And, who knows how things are going to look through those first two games. But going up there to Madison is going to be really difficult. And I'm worried about that game, and I'm worried about a lot of them. The defensive side of the ball, though, I'm hearing people feel like, this defense has got a lot of talent. It's not like Nick Saban left the cupboard bare. Maybe some of your experience is gone, but you're bringing in 3 5-stars over there, and or high 4-stars that are going to be able to eventually get it figured out. It's just how long is that going to happen, and is Jones going to eventually take that spot and those guys be more depth than starters? That's the question I have.
Yeah, that's right. And that Wisconsin game, the way it's positioned too, don't overlook them looking ahead to Georgia.
No, nope. That's going to be a Super Bowl for them. And then here we go. Really start thinking about this, Brett. It's coming August 31st, Western Kentucky at Bryant-Denny Stadium, 6 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. Kalen DeBoer and the Alabama Crimson Tide, the defending undisputed SEC champions, take on the Hilltoppers. And I don't know if you are a fan of McDonald's and Grimace. Grimace's cousin is actually the Hilltoppers mascot.
Wow. Isn't that something? You learn something new every day on this show. Did you also know that not only is that game going to be televised on ESPN, but it's also going to be on the Crimson Tide Sports Network, which announced yesterday that former running back Damian Harris has joined the network as sideline reporter.
Yeah. You know what? I like that. There's some guys on there sometimes that are, talking head types that are from other universities and stuff. And it's like, hey, instead of having those guys, I like the Christian Millers. I like Damian Harris. Guy was fantastic. I saw him on Feinbaum. The more of those guys and the less talking heads we can get on, I think the better that it's going to be, just because they're going to get more access. They just are. And they're going to understand what's going on,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And
that's like us.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think we're talking about ourselves.
Yeah, we're talking about ourselves.
But we were talking the other day about the difference between Saban and DeBoer, and I think we saw it after practice. I think it was yesterday, the day before yesterday. The ice cream truck rolled up.
Gosh, can you imagine? I'm going to put this on the screen as you tell the story, because, it's not that I'm trying to sell calendars, Brett. It's just that this guy would have never had an ice cream truck come on campus.
No, but apparently DeBoer is known for things like this. And they were wrapping up practice. It was actually on Wednesday. And they heard the ice cream truck coming. And they look and they're like, here comes the ice cream truck. And here's these guys that, in full pads are sweating to death, and, and they're lined up for ice cream. And that's just something that, he apparently has done in the past. And I thought, that is so cool.
Funny, why I'm laughing so hard is that there was that story that Jay Coker told where Nick Saban's birthday and they had cake and everything.
Right.
Nick Saban started yelling at everybody. They had like that little hats on and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, it would be a great birthday if he would do his job over there.
Right.
Austin.
Yeah.
All right, guys, look, let me tell you this right now. You get this autographed calendar right here. Go to New Life Art, use the promo code Bama Tailgate, and Daniel Moore will sign the calendar when you purchase one of these 2025 fine art calendars. So do it right now while supplies last. I also want to remind you that we are proudly presented by Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 hours and change from Birmingham, close anywhere in the state of Alabama or in the South. And it really is Vegas, a little chip of Vegas right there in Mississippi. Dancing Rabbit Golf Course is the Augusta that you can play. So go over there and do your golfing. You also have the sports book at Golden Moon Casino. And if you put down $50 on a wager, just like Big Sexy Elmo did, you can play Dancing Rabbit for just $40, and you don't have to have a membership. And the clubhouse gives you that big time golf atmosphere. And this really is one of the, they call it the Augusta that you can play. It's one of the great courses in the South. Also, table games and slots at Silver Star and Golden Moon. And they're celebrating 30 years right now. Some great acts, some more that are being announced here soon. But really going to be a fantastic year over at Pearl River. It already has. Brett and I went to Boys to Men here recently. It was so much fun. And then Brett hung out with Big and Rich the next day. Showed off all of his pictures and hung out with them. And Gretchen Wilson and him have gotten real tight. And it was amazing to watch. Oh, wait, what are you doing here?
Oh, yeah, I heard my name.
Gretchen Wilson. Remember your friend Gretchen?
Yeah, Gretchen.
All right, you take over after this, pal.
Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Do I look frozen? Did I fool you there?
Did you fool me?
Yeah.
No, I know. I was waiting.
They call him Big Sexy. Coming at you from the Walker County. Jasper is his hometown. He's known for giving free rundowns. Oh, Big Sexy. Throwing out those Alabama thoughts. Sneaking out your mom's window without getting caught. Nick gives you the XP, but Big Elmo is here to please. Big Sexy Elmo on the Bama Tailgate Show.
This show is so unprofessional.
God, I'm telling you.
Is anybody even still here with us right now? Let me ask. Can I do this to Brett every day, guys?
Can I just go home? Anyway, no. Today's the 9th day of August. Yeah, you do that all the time. It's like he'll be talking there and go.
I pretend I'm frozen.
Are you frozen? What's going on here?
Everybody says we have our own, like, we have the things that make us laugh, and everybody else just kind of looks at us like we're crazy.
Yeah, they're probably wondering what the hell's wrong with these.
I send them the same video every day too.
Yeah. Today's birthdays. Let's see. Melanie Griffith. I forgot all about her. She's 67 today.
Is she Peter Griffith's daughter?
Yeah. That's Peter. Peter Griffith's daughter. Melanie is 67 today. Former wife of Don Johnson twice.
Peter Griffin. No, Peter Griffin, the cartoon character.
Yeah. That would be Meg.
Oh, Meg. Yeah.
So
she was married to the same guy twice.
Don Johnson. Yeah.
So are they still married, or did they get divorced twice?
I think they got divorced twice, and she also married Antonio Banderas. Remember him?
Yeah, I did.
Apparently, she gets around. Anyway, she's 67 today. Sam Elliott is a great actor, and he's 80 today.
What was Sam Elliott? I know the name. Let's see here.
He's on Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Big mustache.
Yeah. Looks like he hasn't aged in like 30 years. He's always looked the same.
Yeah, he's always kind of like a bad guy in the westerns and stuff.
Yeah. Deion Sanders is 57 today.
I love Coach Prime. And Ryan Anderson, Alabama Ryan is a great guy. He knows I like him. And when Deion was losing that game they had the 29-point lead and lost to Stanford, he kept messaging me.
Yeah.
I was driving back from Tuscaloosa, so I'm like, why does he keep messaging me? And then I was like, oh my God, they lost.
Yeah. How terrible. And a rap pioneer turned 65 today. Curtis Blow.
Oh, yeah, Curtis Blow.
Yep, 65 today. If you're looking for something to celebrate, today is National Billiards and Pool Day.
Yeah, they used to call me Baltimore Fats.
Baltimore Fats, huh? Were you one of those old pool sharks there?
I'm just kidding. Remember Minnesota Fats, though?
Yeah.
He'd be on like ESPN when they didn't have any programming.
Right.
And he'd like make the shot and it would like curl around the thing and go.
Right, yeah. Comes back around and it's like, what is going on here?
My dad would be like, see, he knows how to hit with the English.
Oh, right. Put some spin on that. Put a little English on that ball, son.
The English. I'll tell you, man, I don't have billiards. I was never really good at billiards. But it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. You at a bar or whatever. I got pool tables, you just go over there, play a game of pool, whatever.
Put your quarters on the table.
Put your quarters on the table. That's right. Today is National Hand Holding Day.
Oh man, well, hand hold your phone shut.
Yeah, really. My mom loves to call whenever I'm doing a show. It doesn't matter if I'm on radio, whether I'm doing this. She has like a sensor that knows when I'm doing something.
Did you so you hold hands? I mean, that when you were a kid, that's like you're dating, when you hold.
Yeah,
hands. I want to hold your hand. You like the Beatles?
That was the magic moment in your young adult stage was when you held hands with the girl.
Yeah.
It sent like a sensation down you.
There's a connection.
Yeah, there's a connection. And also today is National Kool-Aid Day.
Yeah, I was raised on Kool-Aid. I'm not afraid of it. And I'm also a fan of the player named Kool-Aid, who, is obviously in the NFL now.
And has his own Kool-Aid.
And it does. I know. I think his the way that he was fielding those punts last year cost him a little bit of stock in the draft, but I think he has the potential to be a really great player. Favorite Kool-Aid flavor for me was always the fruit punch. I just like the fruit punch. Black cherry was also okay. Didn't like grape as much, but hated the lime.
Yeah. I should have just answered it on the air.
Hi, Mom.
Mom, hello. Now my attention's thrown. Okay, yeah, Kool-Aid. Yeah, speaking of Mom, we'd have that big jug, and she'd fill about this much up with sugar, and then the rest of it was water in the Kool-Aid. It's really good. Kept me hyped up. This day in history, 1945. It's a major day. You know what happened this day?
In 1945?
Yeah. At 11:02 a.m. local time, 3 days after the atomic bombing of Hiroshima,
somebody surrendered.
The U.S. dropped a second bomb, the Fat Man, on Japan, destroying part of the city of Nagasaki. And man, I tell you what, an estimated 74,000 people died from that blast.
When I was in Air Force ROTC, I remember I took one year in Hawaii, and I was there, and there were a bunch of people that were from like Japanese descent. We talked about like the basically how we all kind of felt about that. And I remember at the time thinking, anything to win the war, and all that. And then I get older, and I'm like, to kill 70,000 innocent people, to me is just. I mean, it's awful, and it shows you the power and the destructiveness of these bombs. And you know, we've got wars going on right now, and you know, some of the countries actually have these type of weapons. It really is. I mean, if you think about it too hard, it'll keep you from sleeping at night.
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah,
glad
yeah.
that it ended World War II. Don't get me wrong, but man, I'll tell you what, that is.
Yeah.
People were vaporized. Like, you know, you'd be walking,
yeah.
your family walking home, and all of a sudden your bones are like basically your shadow is burnt in the ground, you know, or on the side of a building or something. You know, the power of these things is just unbelievable.
Yeah, because not 74,000 people estimated died from the blast or its after effects.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Also, this day, very big day in history, 1974 at noon Eastern, President Richard Nixon resigned as president.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I'm going to end with this one because I know this is near and dear to your heart. 1995, rock musician Jerry Garcia died of a heart attack. He was 53.
Yeah, it is. You guys know I love Jerry. Absolutely love him. Went to the Spear, did 3 days out there. Took Brett to, you know, his first Ed show. You know, it's not the same without Jerry. I think he's the greatest musician ever. He always preached peace, tried to stay out of politics, but just peace amongst people. He was born on the 1st and he died today. And they call that time between his birth and his death the days between, you know, and there's an awesome song about that. But you've never seen anyone that mixed the American genre of music better than the Dead, where you can take blues and you can take folk and you can take country and you can take bluegrass and rock and you put them all together. And it was like kind of the brainchild and the genius of Jerry Garcia. But I love him, man. I remember when he died, and at the time I didn't realize the impact that he brought to music. I mean, I knew I liked his music, but I didn't realize like this much later in my life that I would still really appreciate it, and even more so, you know, just how amazing those songs were at the writing and everything that he brought to the table with that incredible band. And he also had some solo projects that were great as well. So rest in peace, Jerry Garcia. Roll Tide, everybody.